Hi everyone, it's Rebecca from the Sugar Plum Sleep Company. I wanted to take this opportunity to answer a really great viewer question that I received today. Sarah writes, my almost 5-year-old is getting up early in between 5:45 and 6:30 a.m. He doesn't nap anymore and we put him to bed in between 7:15 and 7:30 because he is so tired. Any tips on extending his morning wake time? So I have two suggestions for Sarah and for anyone else that's experiencing the same type of thing right now. Number one is to evaluate your child's room conditions. So for many of us, it's the middle of the summer, and that means there's a lot more sunlight coming into our rooms at an earlier time of day. So if you don't have the appropriate window coverings to block that sunlight out, that could be interrupting your child's ability to stay asleep at that time of day. You could also think about evaluating whether or not there are any other environmental disturbances like noises outside of an open window that might be causing your child to wake up a little bit early. Birds are certainly out a little bit earlier this time of year, so you may want to think about blocking out that sound with a low level fan at this time. The second thing, though, and probably the more important piece of the puzzle based on the information that Sarah has provided, is the fact that her son is really, really fatigued when it's bedtime. And I hear this from a lot of people right now. It's the summer. Their child is likely in a camp, and whether that's a half-day camp or a whole-day camp, nobody parties harder than a small child that's at camp. So they are exhausted by the time they get home. And if that's where they're at when they're going to bed, it's likely to interrupt their sleep and cause some early morning wake-ups. So a couple of things that you could consider. The first would be to pull back bedtime a bit. And so I would say probably even by 15 minutes, maybe a 7 p.m. bedtime might work better for her son. And then the other thing I would suggest that everyone does is to incorporate a little bit of extra quiet time during the summer months, because your child is expending a lot of energy. They're out in the sun a lot more. So they could probably use a little bit of downtime. Even if they're not napping anymore and they haven't been napping for a long time, some independent play using some puzzles or sticker books or building blocks might be a really great way to help them decompress and not be quite as fatigued when it's time for bed. So I hope that answers your question, Sarah. And if anyone else has a question that they would love to get answered, feel free to leave the question for me on my Facebook page, the Sugar Plum Sleep Co. Thanks.